Going on, tubes? I want to talk about my 1978 Troy Bilt Horse rototiller here. I bought this thing about 5 years ago off an elderly gentleman. It hadn't been used for a number of years. When I did get it, it did have the Honda GX160 motor already swapped in. But again, the machine sat for a while, so the engine needed some work. The rest of the machine was in pretty good shape, but it just needed some paint work. Had some housekeeping leaks. The gear oil hadn't been changed in quite a long time. So this, about a month ago, decided I was going to do a full-blown overhaul on this thing. So broke it down to parade rest, cleaned everything up, repainted the whole thing, resealed the whole transmission, refilled it with some fresh gear oil, new belts, a couple new springs, new decals. I did wheels and tires the last year, but anyways, this thing is it's done up. It's pretty much pristine as it can get. Repainted the valve cover too to match the Troy Bilt red. You know, he had to. But yeah, I just want to give you guys a quick little overview of it. A couple things I decided to do that I didn't have the ability to control with this newer Honda engine. And the first one was the throttle control. So with the engine the way it was, I had to adjust the throttle using this lever down here. So if at any point while I was tilling, if I want to increase or decrease the RPMs of the machine, I had to run to the front here. So I wanted to change that. So I got this universal Oregon throttle control here. This is a 72-inch cable, and basically connected it right to the stock throttle. And now this allows me to have throttle control from back here, which is real nice to have. The other thing that I wasn't able to kill the motor from back of the operator station here as well. So that's another thing that I added. I had a kill switch here. So this is like a KTM style kill switch. I've used these on quite a few projects. They seem to work really well. Basically made my own clamp using a hose clamp. I'll post a video at the end of this showing how I modify these to work. But basically ran the two wires down. And what I do, this low oil sensor here, I find that you do not need it. It really is not needed. So I snip the wires and I hook in right to the stock location of where the oil sensor would be. The low oil sensor. So it fits up really nice. Looks real clean. But again, it's nice not to be able to have to run to the front of the machine to shut it off. So I'll give you guys a quick demo here. That Honda still purrs like a kitten. And when I want to shut it off, and that's a momentary kill switch as well, which means you hold it down and it kills it, and then when you release it, it's back to its normal operating circuit again, so you don't have to flip any switch or anything, which is convenient. So if you have one of these machines and either you've done a Honda swap or you've done a Predator swap, I highly recommend these two upgrades or modifications. And I'll post a link to these. These are real cheap. This cable lever thing was like 15 bucks, and those kill switches are like $7 or $8 a piece. And again, I'll post a link at the end of this video to how I modify these switches to fit on the larger diameter handlebars here. So Hope you guys enjoy. All right, I'm going to talk about how I modify these KTM Momentary style kill switches. So first thing I like to do when I get one of these is I like to seal up the back a little bit better. I get this liquid electrical tape here, and I fill in the back because these contacts are normally open. So I fill it in, let it sit overnight. It waterproofs the switch a little bit better. The next thing we got to do is we got to modify the switch a little bit to fit the larger diameter handlebar. As you can see on this mini bike, this is a 7/8 handlebar and it fits it perfectly. But on the larger diameter handlebar, it's not going to work. There's a big gap there. So what we got to do is we got to modify the switch a little bit using this Dremel tool. So what I do is I shave the sides of this down a little bit, get it to contour the handlebar better. As you can see on that one, how it's been shaved down and reshaped. So once you've done that and you get to fit the handlebar, you got to make your own bracket. So this is the bracket that they supply, and unfortunately it's too small. It won't go all the way around the handlebar. So what I do is I buy a hose clamp that's the same diameter as that bracket, and then I cut it to size. All right. And then obviously the hose clamp is straight. So what I do is I bend over the ends, just using a simple vise right there. Bend that over like that, and then that will fit perfectly. I'm trying to do this with one hand here. 1 second. There we go. Yeah, so that will fit perfect. Hold that thing right in. Again, showing the example on this one. I mean, that's on there good. And again, these are just 2-wire switches. So basically, I ran this and connected it to where the stock low oil pressure sensor was. And that fits perfect, nice and clean wiring. If you want to get real crazy, you could probably drill. I thought about drilling a hole in the handlebar and actually run the wires basically unseen and then popping out that end, but probably be a little too much work. Hope you guys enjoy this video. If you do, please like, share, and subscribe. I want to give a shout out to a couple other people on YouTube and some vendors I've received parts from. Number one, when I was planning the transmission rebuild, I was watching a video series from a guy named the Turbine Doctor. He had a really good video series on breaking down these transmissions. Although if you are going to do this job, I highly recommend you download the full tech manual to do so. To get that tech manual and any associated parts, I went to Custom Parts Incorporated. And I'll post a link down below for you guys. But they were really good. They were one-stop shop for all the bearings, seals, everything that I needed for the internals of this machine. And then also they had any tech manuals, basically the transmission tech manual. It's like 120 pages. They had that posted on their webpage. So that was really helpful. I highly recommend you have that by your side when you're doing it. Once you get into this thing, the complexity really isn't as great as you would think. It's actually a pretty straightforward job. So anyways, hope you guys enjoy. Till next time.